Hello students, a very warm welcome to you once again. In the previous lecture, I have tried to give you an explanation of a very detailed outline of what exactly is Unit 1. Let me tell you once again that these are not lecture series. However you are doing your preparation, whether you are doing a self-study or whether you are going to classes or you are maybe doing some group discussions, basically, this perspective is going to help you to enhance a better understanding of what exactly is Unit 2. So, here, the Unit 2 is talking about sociology as science. Let me just recall. The Unit 1 was all about history. It was telling how the subject of sociology gets developed in 19th century, what was happening in 15, 16, 17, 18 for 400 years, and as a product of that modernity, a new subject had come into emergence or existence, which was called as social physics. Later, that subject was changed by August Kuhn, the father of sociology, into sociology. So unit 2 is basically a debate which is happening in this subject, that how you are supposed to orient it. Now, for example, whenever something comes new for the first time, there is going to be a discussion that in the classification, where exactly should it stand? Let me tell you, today this debate might not be very meaningful to you because as we all see, the subject of sociology is largely present in arts universities. Like if you take a look at Delhi University, if you look at Ashoka, JNU, or any such well-known universities which are present, usually you say that sociology is an art subject. But let me just reiterate, in 19th century, there was literally a discussion that how should we orient or how should we take a look at this subject. Many of them, in fact, the early sociologists, the first generation of sociologists, they were trying to tell that no, don't take a look at this subject as any other arts, but rather it should be considered like a science subject. It means the way how you look at physics, chemistry, biology, in the same way you need to look at this subject. So this debate of whether it is science or it is not a science, whether it is arts or it is not an arts, this was the kind of a debate. So the unit 2 is basically like this: sociology as science, or I can say the debate is whether it is arts. So there is no answer to it. Let me tell you that before itself. So this unit will be divided into 5 sections: 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The first is take a look at all the syllabus that we are having. I have copy pasted the syllabus exactly from the PDF that has been given by upsc.gov.in. So these are the 5 parts that we are going to look in our today's video. The first is science, scientific method, and critic. Now let me tell you that before we label that whether sociology it is a science or an arts, we first try to define what is the meaning of science. So here we create the question, what is subject that will be called as science? So if you are telling that physics is like a science, chemistry is like a science, what exactly? Because if anything we are telling that it is considered to be as a science, basically it is a study of a thing, or we can say it's a study of an object or a matter. Because whenever we are dealing something in arts, you don't deal with matter, you basically deal with something such as things which are produced out of mind. Like if I'm talking about philosophy, it's coming out of a mind. If I'm talking about a history, the mind has perceived something, looking at some object, looking at some phenomena. Like this is the way how Ashoka has moved. So history is all about a mental phenomena. People perceive it and then they try to write it. I understand facts are present, objectivity should be there, but largely it's a phenomena of perspectives. So art will be surrounded with the phenomena of mind, that we have produced something. But whenever we are dealing something with science, it is always associated with a matter. For example, if I am studying atoms, it is like a matter. It does not have its own consciousness. And the study of these atoms will be seen in the subject of physics. If I'm studying something called as reactions, chemicals, basically the subject is chemistry. If I'm trying to break down and study cells and how do they behave, etc. So here Science are those subjects which are associated with things, they are associated with the phenomena of matter. Art is a subject which is. So what am I doing? I'm not telling where is sociology. I'm just trying to first define what is the meaning of science. Second, in the field of science, we are having the scope of experimentation, that you can control something in an environment. If you take a laboratory, a chemical scientist is having a particular controlled setup. This is the way that he wants a particular temperature. These are the test tubes that he is having. He can react, mix the A chemical with a B chemical. So there is an experimentation phenomena. In the field of arts, this kind of experimentation is largely absent. Now, let's not debate that no, humans are also put up under experiment, but here the controlled environment, the scope of experimentation is much higher in science as compared in the field of arts. On the other hand, if we take a look, science is all about generalization, something that we are trying to create a theory, it has got a generalization phenomenon. Like, for example, in the whole universe, if you take a look at one nucleus and one atom is there, this will be called as hydrogen. If there are two electrons, it will be called as a helium. So these kind of generalizations, the theory given by Albert Einstein, the theory given by Isaac Newton, the chemicals, the study of biology, it has got generalization. So all over the place, this concept has been widely acceptable. So there is the concept of universalism is there in science. But in the case of arts, these kind of generalization is absent. Because it is called as perspectives. Science, whenever they try to bring a certain claim, these are called to be as laws, or it tries to establish a certain form of a theory. In the field of arts, there is nothing called as theories, or laws are not there. Basically, what we produce over here, it is called to be as perspectives, or we try to generate as opinions. So here, I'm first trying to explain you what is the meaning of science. Now, different people will come and try to establish, all the group of people who are trying to tell sociology is like science, they will be associated with the first generation of sociology, such as August Comte, Herbert Spencer, Emile Durkheim, Saint Simon. They are associated with first generation, and those group of people who are associated with second generation, they will be trying to tell that no, sociology is not a science, but rather it is considered to be as the subject of arts. One of the early propounders that we are having over here is Max Weber, who is associated with the concept of phenomenology. And I can tell more other. George Simmel is there, the student of Max Weber, Alfred Schultz, Harold Garfinkel. They are all associated to telling that sociology is. So the first part that we are having in the unit 2, it is associated whether it is science, scientific method, or it is we are trying to criticize those phenomena. Then comes the most important part that we are having in our unit 2. It is major theoretical strands of research methodologies. Like how, what are the basically, I can say this part B, it is trying to highlight what all are the major theories which are present in your syllabus. All the theories that you can think about. So we try to divide this into two forms of theories. Those theories who are trying to look at large phenomena all together, these are called to be as structural theories. These are called to be. They look at the bigger picture. They look at the macro phenomena. They try to see the society in a broad manner from a distant view. Like if you're standing at the cliff of a mountain, you look at a large phenomena. So those theories who are trying to look at the society in a large macro phenomena, these are called to be as structural theories. And opposite to that are those group of theories who are not looking in a broad manner, who are not looking at the macro picture, but rather they are looking at a micro picture. These are called to be as action theories or action centric theories. Let me just write it like this. And then we are having those group which cannot be put in the A category and the B category. Let me just tell that it is a C category. So do not get confused with the A and the B which is there above. So this is like first, this is like second, this is like third. Now, what are the structural theories? Again they are being divided. Those phenomena of structure which are coherent, they are existing in harmony, like exactly how you look at a human body. All different organs are there, they are having different functions, they do not perform the same function, but they all come together, and that is how the human body is able to perform largely. Those group of sociologists who compare society like a biological organism. Look at heart, look at lung, look at kidneys. They are all different from one another, but did they come together, and are they trying to share some of the responsibilities with each other? And that is the way how the digestive system has created. That is the way how nervous system has created. All these systems have come in coherence and coordination, and that is how I am and you are able to function. So these kind of theories, which are inspired from a human body or human organism, they can be associated with functional theories. There are more different branches of functionalism. Let me not go in detail. So just remember these are the functional theories. Again, there will be branches called as classical functionalism, biological functionalism, structural functionalism, neo-functionalism, rational functionalism. I am not going to go too much in detail for UPSC. So much of detailing is not required. Then after looking at the functional theories, there are some group of theories who are telling that no, they are not in coherence and coordination, but rather they are present in antagonism. They are present with some enmity and conflict. These are called to be as conflict theories. If you look at Marxism, that comes under conflictism. If you look at Gramsci's contribution, Louis Althusser, feminism, all these are coming under conflict theory. Feminism is established on the concept of conflict theories. That why women are suffering, it is because of an ideology established by patriarchy. So here, the essence of feminism is based on conflict phenomena. The essence of Marxism is based on conflict phenomena. The haves and the have-nots can never come together. So how are we looking at sociology? We are trying to first divide it into first, second, and third. In the first, I am telling that this is a large view of the society, functional theories, and conflict theories. And then there are action centric theories. What is action centric theories? They are trying to look from an individual view and how we can establish. So, one most popular theory of is phenomenology. Another popular theory that we are having is ethnomethodology, and there is something called as symbolic interactionism. You need to refer to your notes. You need to go and check out your class notes. Take a look at what is symbolic interaction. If you want me to explain these topics in detail, let me know in the comment section. I will explain it over there. But right now, I do not have time to go into details of what is phenomenology, ethnomethodology, and symbolic interactionism. And then comes a C part. These are those sections which we are not able to put in the first and the second part. So that is why I have created a miscellaneous. So you can refer this tabular column in Harlambo's book as well. So structural theories, action theories, a mixture of both of these would be called to be as structuration theories. The word itself explains structuration. It's a mixture of structure plus action. Those phenomena which are basically a mixture of macro and micro view. This concept of structuration theory, it has been popularized by Anthony Giddens. Sorry about that. It was popularized by Anthony Giddens. He says, do not look at the society like a disruption. Like one is like a structure, another. They both are complementary to each other. At one point of time, you behave according to structure. At one point of time, you make the society according to your actions. So it's a mixture of both of them. A very good example is, let me think, the way how you play cricket. Are there some macro rules in cricket? Yes. Are there any micro? Yes. There are. Both of them are coexisting. Macro view of cricket is that you need to hit the ball and then you're supposed to run. But how different people run, there is variation in that. Is there a macro view on how you're supposed to be a batsman? Yes, there is a slip shot, there is a gully shot, there is a front drive, there is a cover drive. I don't know the different terms, but there is a macro view. But when you look at individual play, when you look at individual players, everyone has got their own micro style of playing. How helicopter shot is being present by Dhoni, how the way how Sachin used to be popular for playing his own set of shots, how Kohli has got his micro view. So both of them are complementary, they are not separate from each other. Then we are having globalization theories, which has been popularized by Ritzer, etc. So take a look. Environmental theories are there. So we are having a postmodernism, etc. So those are the major theories which are present in sociology. And then we are having the C part, that is positivism and its critic. What is positivism? Those group of sociology who have tried to establish sociology like a natural science. The way how you are having physics, chemistry, biology in the same way on the basis of these facts, telling that sociology is like matter. It is a study on the basis of objectivity. The word positivism means you are trying to establish a subject like natural science, and this is the way how I want to study sociology. This was a very popular discipline when it comes in 19th century. And then we have got fact, value, and objectivity. Basically, this is also like a debate. I will put one comma over here in your syllabus. Comma is not there. I like to put a comma because those group of people who are telling that science, sociology is like science. Basically, they are trying to orient themselves. Basically, they are trying to orient themselves like science. That is why they are looking after facts. Those group of sociologists who are trying to say sociology is not science but rather it is arts. So these are the ones who are focusing upon the phenomena of value. And then there is a stream which tells don't fight, don't tell that it is fact or it is value. Try to study the phenomena as in an objective manner. Try to be an good observer. So this group of people are largely first generation sociologists. This is largely second generation of sociology. The third generation, when Parson was trying to study, it was on the basis of objectivity. So we study those phenomena. Facts, are they truly present? Values. It's little bit tricky topic. It's difficult to handle. We have to go slowly. We will cover that when we are doing our class program. And then comes non-positivist methodologies. All the theories that I'm telling over here, see, action-centric theories. The concept which I'm telling over here, they largely come under non-positivist methodology. Because if they are basically the word is they are those theories who tell sociology is not like science. I have just told you positivism means positivist means what? A person who studies sociology like science. So these are those people who are telling it is not like science. So if you remember, I told one of the most popular person in this was Max Weber. He was trying to tell that it is studying sociology like science would be considered to be as blunder. He is associated with phenomenology. There are another views such as Posthian methodology which was there. And then there was another sociologist called as Harold Garfinkel. Garfinkel was associated in introducing a discipline called as ethnomethodology. And then we are having something called as symbolic interactionism. G.H. Mead is largely associated with interactionism. Then we are having the different forms of labeling theory. We are having dramaturgical theory. We are having looking glass self theory. So looking glass theory by C.H. Cooley. Then we have had the metallurgical approach by Habermas. Then we are having Howard Becker's labeling theory. So these are the different ways in which how non-positivist methodologies are studied. So what have we looked in our unit 2? Unit 2 is basically a form, I can say. Unit 1 is like history view. Unit 2 is basically like a debate view, or I can say this is like a theory. This is more inclined towards theory. So largely this unit 2 is around different forms of theories. It's a debate. And what is the debate? Whether it is science or it is arts. What are the topics? These are the 5 topics, one by one: science, scientific method, and critics. What are the major theories? The most important in all the 5, A, B, C, D, E, the B is the most important. And then we are having positivism and its critics. What are the different factors which makes a subject to be called as science? So here we're talking about different factors as facts, as aspects of matter, objectivity, experimentation, generalizations, fact, value, and objectivity, non-positivist. So that's it in our today's lecture. In the next lecture, I will be discussing a detailed outline of Unit 3.